Good afternoon, Lake Norman. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Know the Scene. Know the Scene, your weekly dose of knowing what's going on here around the Lake Norman region and beyond and all the towns that make up this area. So what does it mean to have a cool scene here? What are the things, the places you go to eat, the places you go to drink, what you hang out? Where do you hang out? What do you watch? What do you do? With your friends, with your families, what makes it a scene as we continue to grow as a community. Justin Dionne, your host here for Know the Scene. We're settling in now in like week 5. I think we are now of the show, so starting to settle into this. We thank you all for listening. If you are listening live on the radio, or if you're listening on the Facebook Live or YouTube Live or any of those, you can watch as well on those. By the way, if you're on social media and want to tune in and watch the show, you can do that. Also, if you want to listen later, you can download on Apple Podcasts. But you didn't want to watch live because I have a new haircut, a sharp haircut. Justin Kazepis has told me he's trying to stir up listeners with you guys. My controversial haircut. Which I had my thumbs up on, but my wife did not quite give the thumbs up on. She said it was too short. So back to the drawing board on that one. That's okay. But that's not what today is about, everybody. Today is about something that I'm excited to talk about, and have guests on to talk about today. You really, if you're enjoying the scene around Lake Norman, any of these towns, it's more than likely that especially during the summer, I mean, year round, of course, but especially night times like this, with the weather we've been having and the nice weather, that you've enjoyed one of our many, many local breweries here. And today we have some awesome guests here from Lost Worlds Brewing in Cornelius. We have Dave Hamme and David Gonzalez. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, definitely.
We're really excited to have you guys on today and just talk to us all about, Lost Worlds, the story, tell everyone the story. I mean, I'm sure if they're listening, they've been. I mean, you guys you hit the ground running when you guys opened up. I mean, and you did such a good job with establishing, obviously, not just a great tap room and experience, but of course, like anchored by just killer product, right? Which one could say is not always the case.
True.
Sometimes places open up with a really killer product, but maybe the tap room's a little bit lacking, or maybe they really put it in that tap room and that tap room is really awesome, but the product's so-so. So personally, my personal opinion, I think you guys did a great job.
Well, thank you.
Of really coming out with all of it at once. And I will say too, like cementing yourself into like the community, right? And enhancing that scene here in Cornelius and in the Lake Norman area in general. So Dave, why don't we start with, by the way, everyone, you're going to hear me, I introduced them with their full names, Dave and David, but we're going to have Dave, we're going to have DG. Dave here is owner and founder.
Correct.
And still operator. Yes. And you haven't moved on to full just management yet.
I think to some extent I'm management, like a general manager at this point.
Sure.
But I'm also I view myself as control of the future of the company.
Love it.
And then we have people who are more focused on the operational aspects of the company.
I love that. And then DG, our head brewer, right?
Yeah, official title is Director of Brewing Operations, but I'm also the head brewer too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, gentlemen, kick us off first, just to get us going here. And Dave, this may be, you kicking us off. Tell me Lost Worlds. Like where you came from, what was your history in the area, how long have you been in Lake Norman, and how do we get to here?
Perfect. Well, I'm kind of a Charlotte native, but I said I moved around a lot. But my career really has been, I've been a business consultant.
Oh,
but
cool.
A kind of a niche form of consulting that's a lot of people don't know about, innovation consulting. So if you took a company that's kind of in a stagnant industry and wanted to see how they could get breakthrough growth or how they could change the paradigm of that business model, that's where I specialize.
Oh, cool.
So to be honest with you, I just got tired of the corporate world and woke up one day and said I have to do something interesting. And I'd been a home brewer, nothing like what DG does on a small scale, like 15-gallon batches. And really enjoyed it. I've been doing that for about 20 years. Did it back in the fraternity house, back in the day, all those types of things.
Nice.
And so when it came time, I looked at the craft beer industry, and there wasn't near as many breweries as there are today. We were talking about this today. There's over 400. I think when we started, there was less than 300, maybe 250.
Wow.
Just because it's exploded in the last 2-3 years. But I wanted to create something different. And there was really 3 aspects to our model. One is I wanted to have outstanding beer. And that's because you and I talked about this previously. You go to some breweries and it's hit or miss. The beers can be good, they can be bad. So that's where DG came in. You know, he's been a brewery veteran for 30 years, kind of like grandfather of North Carolina beer. He knows how to make a good beer and has built a really solid team. Second thing is we wanted to have a brand, because I feel when you go into a lot of craft breweries, a lot of locations anymore, you know, it's a proliferation of the corner store that everything looks and feels the exact same.
Sure.
So ours is all about adventure, and we want to have like a museum-like feel inside of it.
Yeah.
So we put things on the wall, you know, that come from all over the world. We call them taproom artifacts, and they all have stories behind them. And the same way, you know, our beer, our tagline's Find Your Adventure, but our beers, all of them have stories. If you look at the can on the back, there's always a story on the back of the can that tells you about a historic event, historic individual, or a historic item. So, and then the third kind of tenet of ours was we wanted to build a community. And community with us starts from not only have an outstanding guest services model. I mean, we patterned it after the Marriott and Disney and that to really kind of have a best-in-class, what I feel is a best-in-class guest services model, but also to make sure that, you know, we have events that are interesting to people. So that's, you know, the yoga, it's having a run club, it's having a cycling club, it's having music bingo, it's having trivia night, it's hosting music, but it's also doing things that, you know, kind of stepping outside the brewery world. You know, we're going to host author signings, or we're going to have, you know, we have markets behind our brewery where we bring in 50 vendors, and we have a whole day where, you know, local artisans are allowed to apply their wares. So we want to do things like that. And so one of our models internally is we're going to continue to innovate and change and evolve. And Lost Worlds, you know, it's a brewery today, or, you know, I hope it's a brewery. What you just said, I'd love to hear that we hit the ground running, because that was during COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
But
with the 0K, by the way, I think was one of my first big experiences. There was that 0K.
Absolutely.
All fun, no run.
Absolutely. and we want to have those relationships with local businesses and that. And 0K is a perfect one that we partner with Lake Norman Chamber on. We want to have those types of relationships. We did stuff with Kane Center for the Arts, and we'll continue to do those types of things. So we're always open to new ideas. But that's where we came from. And, you know, the future is, you know, we're expanding this year, hopefully. And the future looks promising for us. We have a really good time, and we have a fantastic team. We all enjoy working together, and we've created what I feel is a best-in-class environment.
Oh, definitely.
Awesome. Okay. There were a couple things that we're going to come to. I don't want to give away everything just yet, because I want to talk about some of those things you mentioned about future plans and everything. But DG, what about you? Where are you from? How'd you come to the area?
Oh wow. So I could probably talk about this for hours, but I came to the area in '99 for a brewing job. I was the head brewer at Rock Bottom, Charlotte, from August '99 to September 2010.
I forgot about Rock Bottom.
So I was there for a little over 11 years. Their longest tenured brewer. At one point, I was the only professional brewer within Charlotte city limits.
Wow.
Yeah. Worked at a couple other places from there till here. Let's see, alternative beverage for a little while. Alternative beverage, Foothills, Noda, Riverman, and then our paths crossed at the right time. Perfect
That's
time
awesome.
for both of us. Yeah.
That's awesome. But you're from?
I'm originally from Long Island, New York.
From Long Island.
Long Island.
Out there with Brenda and Eddie.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, we're gonna take a break here shortly. But when we come back, I want to dig more into DG, some of your background here when you got here. Dave, I'd love to hear more about like your consulting when you were here too. And we'll come back and talk more with the guys from Lost Worlds Brewing after the break, and a tasting. A tasting later.
Yeah.
Awesome.
To do it.
All right. We'll be right back.
More Know the Scene with Kane Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Asheville native Kanan Cox is performing Friday, August 25th at Kane Center for the Arts. Get your tickets while they last. Show starts at 8 p.m. Visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Want to showcase your music skills? Richard's Coffee Shop and Military Museum in downtown Mooresville has their music jam sessions every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to noon. Richard's Coffee Shop, located in downtown Mooresville. For more info, visit welcomevets.com. Ever dreamed of seeing Freddie Mercury and Queen live? Absolute Queen, a Queen tribute, will be playing at Boatyard Eats in Cornelius Friday, August 18th. Tickets are $20 online. Enjoy live music and at a fun venue. Absolute Queen, Friday night at Boatyard Eats in Cornelius. To buy tickets, visit boatyardlkn.com. Ever wonder what Mooresville was like in 1873? The historic downtown walking tour is a self-guided tour that will take you on a stroll through Mooresville's past to learn about the history of the town. Featuring 18 stops, the tour begins and ends at the corner of Main Street and Center Avenue. It should take 1 hour to complete. For more info, visit downtownmooresville.com. What would it be like to play glow stick bingo? Come check out the Bingo Glow Party at the Statesville Civic Center. Tuesday, August 22nd, doors open at 6 p.m. All games will be played under blacklight. Glow stick bingo at the Statesville Civic Center. For more info, visit civiccenter.statesvillenc.net. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
I'm Nick Rice with your WSIC forecast. As we head through the rest of the afternoon, it's going to stay mostly sunny, but we do have a 40% chance of a thunderstorm. High of 93. Tonight, chance of thunderstorms still likely. A partly cloudy evening with a low of 75 in the morning. On Tuesday, it's going to be mostly sunny. Showers in the afternoon and a high of 92. Tuesday night, chance of thunderstorms, partly cloudy and low of 65. I'm Nick Rice from WSIC's Weather Center.
Know the Scene with Kane Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne will return after this short break on WSIC.
Stinger. All right. Know the Scene. Back at you Tuesday, your weekly dose of cultural education and celebration of Lake Norman. We were talking about that earlier with the guys here about the idea that culture word triggers some people. They just go, oh, culture. Oh, no, man, it's not for me. And I'm like, we need to reset what that means.
Exactly.
Beer is a culture.
Absolutely.
Beer might be several kind of cultures. Is there does beer have to go through a culturing process? Like, is that what the yeast does? It's like a culture. Am I going too far down the route there?
I'll let the brewer answer that question.
Yeah, in simplest terms, we as brewers make sugar water, and then the yeast will actually make the beer itself. In the simplest.
Okay, good. Keep it simple for me. That's how I gotta keep it. I can trust experts like you do your job. By the way, so we've got DG and Dave Hamme. Apologies earlier, I butchered his last name.
You're not the
It
first.
is not Hamm. It is Hamme.
It can be a ham, though.
It's a heyo. So welcome back. For those who listening, we've got two of the main drivers here at Lost Worlds Brewery, owner and operator and visionary, and then our brewmaster, director of brewery operations. Was that right? Brewery operations.
That's fantastic. We call him a lot of things, so that fits.
We were just talking before the break, kind of just help setting the stage, everyone, on like how you guys got here. Dave comes from background of consulting, but a long time home brewer. Long-time home brewer,
Correct.
So passionate. And now that in the break I learned you're, German with the Hamm. So you've got it in your blood.
It's there.
Right? So he's like, all right. And he get tired of the corporate world, ready to do the brewery thing, get involved. But his experience in the corporate world had a lot to do with setting those right kind of guidelines, I'm assuming, for what you talked about with culture for the organization.
Absolutely.
And getting going. And then DG, did I hear correctly? For a while, you were the only... you were the first full-time brewmaster in Charlotte?
I wasn't the first, but at one point I was the only brewer, as Rock Bottom was the only brewery in the city limits.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, awesome. So then you've really seen this all from the inside, the beer scene in Charlotte and surrounding areas, how it's blown up, right?
Sure.
You've seen it, right?
Yeah. So the first few years I was in Charlotte, from '99 to the early 2010s, there was only a few breweries, and then there were other breweries that opened up. And I actually left Charlotte for a few years and went up to Winston-Salem, the foothills.
Yes.
And I came back, and a few more breweries had opened up, and they all looked at me and they're like, "Hey, you're the new guy." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I probably started professionally brewing when you were in middle school."
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So wait, so you left and you come back.
Yep.
So then how do you get to Lost Worlds?
Like I said earlier, our paths just crossed at the right time. I was looking for my next adventure, and I'd found their name somewhere. And
Well, and there's like, is there like a database you go to for
I
brewers?
think
Like
our
what?
accountant actually.
that's, yeah.
Yeah, we have a specialized set of professional services that work with breweries, from legal to accounts. And I think the accountant actually said, "Hey, DG's looking for something at this point."
That's
Isn't
exactly
that
how
cool
it
how
was.
that works? Like those professional like
Absolutely.
connections and networks.
Oh,
And it's
sure.
so necessary in this business because I mean, I've worked for 60 companies as a consultant. I've never met an industry that was as regulated and had so many little nuances to it as the brewing industry does.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Really? Is that just North Carolina, or is that
No.
because any of us that have worked in the bar industry or any service industry like that, we all talk about North Carolina's
Business friendly.
yeah, well, business friendly, but also like in the alcohol world, anything like that, it's definitely there's a lot of regulation in place,
Yeah.
right? And red tape you got to cut through. But it's not. It just is, right? It just is.
And I think it's the industry as well. Prohibition came and they, when it ended, they just take the same laws and says, here they are. And then over time, because we're in the Bible Belt, there was restrictions put on and
Right,
everything else.
right.
And as you get to that point, I don't think anyone ever really goes back and looks at the book of laws and say, do these make sense? Are they contradictory or not?
Sure.
So, as our attorney says, do your best to comply with what the letter of it is, but we can't follow it to the letter just because it doesn't exist.
Sure.
Anywhere really. It's not
Well,
just
but
North
that's
Carolina.
innovation, like you said earlier.
Absolutely.
That's innovation, right? We're always, society, people, humans, we're always growing, changing, progressing, we're learning new things. And so it's always, you just got to take that chance to look back. And I'm assuming as the brewing industry and everything continue to grow, you got to stop and go, ooh, this one rule here is kind of a little
Right.
restrictive.
And over the years, there have been changes to that. So a couple days ago was the 18th anniversary of what we call Pop the Cap. Before that, in 2004, you couldn't produce anything or sell anything higher than 6% ABV.
Huh.
Or import anything. And that changed 18 years ago, as of a couple days ago. So now we can. You can introduce all these different styles of beer, all these different brands, and all that kind of stuff. And things like that changed. A couple years ago, the Craft Freedom started up, where we were only allowed to self-distribute up to a certain
Right.
product
I remember
number.
they raised the barrel
Yep.
limits, right?
Right.
Yep. So that changed. And there is change. It's just with bureaucracy, it's slow.
Well, sure. Yeah. Always. Yeah.
But it's always.
Yeah.
So we're looking 2 weeks ago. Now in breweries, we can begin to serve mixed drinks. We could not do that.
What?
Yeah.
August 1st, effective August 1st, we can get a liquor permit. Don't have to serve food, and we can serve mixed drinks in a brewery.
You have to have a membership?
Nope.
Just nope.
Really? No membership required now
All
either.
gone.
I remember it used to be like you had to have food
membership.
or you had to have
If
a
it was
membership.
a private club, yeah.
Yeah.
That's gone. That's all wiped.
Well, good for you. Now, the way like full liquor mixed
Absolutely.
drinks or like
Absolutely.
like beer mixed with.
Liquor permit, just like a bar.
Interesting.
Mhm.
That's cool. That'll spice things up.
It will change things for sure.
So sorry, I just you bring that up. I gotta ask. So do you guys still stay beer, or do you ever dip into custom spirits at some point?
We have to dip
Innovation.
Into innovation. You have to change. And I will never say we won't do anything. Obviously, nothing illegal. I don't mean to imply that,
Of course.
But we're going to always continue to innovate, and I think spirits and that, and at least selling them initially, and maybe eventually making them, will be part of our model.
That's something I'm surprised, and maybe I'm missing it, but I have not. My wife and I visited in Newton, North Carolina, a couple weeks ago, Warehouse Distillery. And it was our first time going to a distillery, and I was like, I'm surprised Lake Norman doesn't have one of these yet.
Well,
Unless there's one coming that I missed, or I'm
Yeah,
missing somewhere.
Murto Distillery.
Where is that? See, why am I missing that?
It's
in
Huntersville, Mooresville. Yeah, Murto has 2 locations.
Oh, I gotta go check that out.
Yeah.
I've missed that completely. Then.
They make
All
some
right,
fantastic.
see,
There you go.
know the
They do.
scene, guys.
Yeah.
I gotta
right.
know the scene. Wow, that's cool. Well, that's cool to hear all that. I love that. So, continuing on through this, so you guys meet through I'm guessing, Dave, that you, as you mentioned, you loved brewing, home brewer, decide to make the change. And what? So you're going through, you're contacting an attorney, you're getting your ducks in a row, and you're like, ooh, I need to make sure I have a master brewer, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then that connects you to DG.
Right.
Did you like interview a bunch of people for this, or did you meet DG and you're like, no, this is the guy?
To be honest with you, I had talked to a number of different people about hiring a brewer, and I met DG, and what I really wanted was someone who could understand, because I believe culture is just imperative to a company. I wanted to have someone who could embrace the culture, who could understand what I wanted to do, because I didn't want to create a brewery where we have 12 IPAs and 3 other beers. I wanted to do a mixture of styles. So I had to find someone who was philosophically on the same page. And we went and had lunch on March 17th.
St. Patrick's Day.
And
Nice.
that's our bro anniversary now. And from then on out, I think we just started working together. It just became very natural for us to talk about stuff, and I bounce ideas off him. And over that process of kind of got to know DG, understand his perspective, and it just was match made in heaven. And
Our philosophies line up. A lot of us just lined up, and we deal with each other really well. We bounce off each other, and it works well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It has since day one.
So
yeah.
when you're coming together and you're starting like the idea of developing a brewery, right? This business, this idea. I understand that too, right? Like you're building something from the ground up, right?
Absolutely.
And wanting to establish culture and everything. Did you guys, and you mentioned the not wanting to have all IPAs and a couple others. So obviously you had some thoughts and opinions. How did you develop? I mean, did you develop like a flavor profile, like that's your culture? That would you say that Lost Worlds has a flavor profile within your beers that you tend to like to steer towards?
So when Dave and I met, one of the second or third meeting in, we decided what our portfolio was going to be.
There you go, portfolio.
And
that's
we
the word.
wanted it to be diverse because we know people are diverse. Everyone has different tastes.
Sure.
And that. So we knew we wanted to make a lighter beer. We knew we wanted to make a darker beer. We knew we had to make a hoppy beer and a tart beer and stuff like that. But we wanted to be diverse in that. Another thing for us is drinkability and sessionability, meaning that we don't want to overpower you with different flavors, with higher ABV beers, a lot of them, where you could drink 1, you could drink 2, you could drink 3. You just sit there and you're
not gonna get tanked.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah, well,
just to be real.
Yeah.
You can.
Well,
I mean, you can if you want to go that route.
exactly.
The option is there.
Exactly. But part of our branding is our tap room, and with that, you'd be in our tap room and you'd be talking to other guests. We call them guests, not customers.
Yeah.
They're our guests. And you look at an artifact on the wall and you start talking about it, or a trip maybe you've taken or took, and you sit there and you have a couple beers over it.
Love that.
And that's the whole. Yeah, that's it.
I love that, man. I mean, hey, from a guest perspective, like I'd say you definitely hit that. Like from the times I've done, and full disclosure is the first, and I'm a guest at y'all's brewery, but I've like met you once or twice,
Absolutely.
but like we haven't like ever like seriously sat down like around a table with some microphones and
We
talked.
should do that.
But we should. But that was so non-biased. Like I mean, you guys, 100%. I think have accomplished that.
Well, thank you.
That goal, which I think is awesome. I really like. I will tell you something I learned today that I like too is, and I knew you guys had the story stuff, but I haven't paid attention to the fact, like you said, on the back of these cans, there's a story with all of them. Fun question I had while you were telling me. So, is there a favorite artifact that each of you have that's in the brewery right now?
I do have one. We're partnered with an archaeological organization called AFAR.
Oh, wow.
And we've been excavating a castle in Spain outside Madrid. It's called Zarita. And we have a picture of Zarita. And I took a trip to do some GPR there this past February. And as a result, we have a picture of Zarita on the wall. So that has to be my favorite because Zarita's my place.
That's cool.
I don't know if I have one favorite per se. I like them all because I like the beers. I like the stories behind them. Yeah, I don't think I have one.
Okay, well, we got time during the break. You can think, and we'll quiz you when we get back. If you're listening and you have a favorite artifact at Lost Worlds, why don't you give us a call? Give us a call in and let us know, all right? We'll be back with Know the Scene in just a few.
More Know the Scene with Kane Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne on the way from the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Local and North Carolina news now on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC. News Talk Now.
Hi, I'm Mike Jackson, WSIC News. As children across Mecklenburg and Iredell counties head back to school, the Department of Health and Human Services is reminding families to get their kids' vaccines up to date. Vaccine-preventable diseases such as meningitis, measles, whooping cough, and others are still seen across North Carolina. And 2 people were killed after a family of 3 was walking home when they ran out of gas early yesterday morning. Jeffrey McKay, who was driving a North Carolina Department of Adult Correction vehicle, struck and killed the family's 17-year-old boy. Chad Woods, the boy's father, then pulled out a gun and shot the driver, killing him. Woods faces second-degree murder charges. Now sports with Joe Berg.
Lots of NFL signings yesterday. Zach Martin ends his holdout with a 2-year deal with the Cowboys. Zeke Elliott signs with the Patriots. And Dalvin Cook signs a 1-year contract with the New York Jets.
WSIC weather, mostly cloudy, showers and thunderstorms today. The high 92 and a heat index at 104. Mostly cloudy, chance of more rain tonight and a low of 66. Sunshine returns for Wednesday, the high 85, then more sun on Thursday with a high of 87. Mike Jackson, WSIC News.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
What would you consider to be your greatest asset? For me, that's easy. It's my wife and family. My name is Larry Jones, and I'm the owner of Navstar Financial Planning. Over the years, I've tried to build Navstar with that idea in mind. After all, it's not just about how your portfolio is doing. It's about defeating that market correction that comes around every 5 to 7 years to make you start over. It's about moving you to a place where our spend-crazy politicians don't end up with more of your assets than you do. It's about preparing your kids for getting into their dream college and maximizing scholarships and free money so that your own portfolio doesn't have to suffer. It's about maximizing your future income streams, such as Social Security, and helping you with Medicare decisions and that elephant in the room, long-term care. I'd love to meet you. Maybe I could help you protect your biggest asset. Give me a call at 704-663-7482, and let's have a short 10-minute chat. There's no pressure or obligation. That's 704-663-7482.
Larry is a member of the Financial Planning Association.
Hi, this is Susan. I'm excited to let you know that Lake Mountain Coffee is now available for private events. Our beautiful historic building with its 360-degree mezzanine has hosted many private parties, catered diners, and even an actual wedding. Please contact Andy at 704-252-1886 for more information. Thank you so much.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starr.
Now more Know the Scene with Kane Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
The new WSIC. Justin Dionne here with Know the Scene. Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in, or for listening later if you're listening from the future. Thank you for tuning in and listening as we continue to highlight the people and businesses and artists and folks that make the scene. Speaking of that, I'm gonna call it. You guys are artists.
Yeah.
You guys are artists, man.
Him more than me, but yes.
Sure, but that's an artist, man. Building flavor profiles and you know what I mean. Like you're creating. You guys create stuff.
It's brewing is half science, half art.
There,
Yeah.
See, there you go. It's my mission. It's my mission. I'm telling you, man. The whole time we were like developing Kane Center, like folks would be like, "Man, I mean, it sounds like a cool idea and all, but I just don't get into art." And I'm like, I don't.
Everyone is.
I
They
feel
just
like
don't
you're
realize.
missing that. Yeah, you just don't realize. So like, that's one of my things. I love it. No, you're absolutely right, man. You are, man. You're an artist. You're totally. Both of you guys are artists. Cause like you, Dave, you've been talking about how you consider the organization and creativity around the culture of the organization, how the cans tell a story. I mean, the being in the room and having these artifacts. I mean, that's an art, man. That's creating a cultural experience for people that come in. Like, so you guys are artists.
But it's fun. It doesn't feel like work when you treat it like that.
Well, that's right.
Exactly.
That's right. But well, awesome. Well, so all right. So DG was talking about flavor profiles kind of like the mission. And then during the break, I want to talk about this real quick, and then maybe we'll try a couple beers. You know, one of the things I want to ask about is obviously, of course, like you mentioned early on in the show, and we were talking to, you know, gosh, this brewery scene in North Carolina. I mean, United States overall, yes, but North Carolina especially is just, man, it's popped. And I still think it's fun for me. Like I know one of the jokes in Charlotte is like, oh, that's all we need is another brewery.
Exactly.
But I think it's fun too as a consumer myself. Like I think it's fun. I like it because to your point, Dave, again, and speaking to y'all's success is to me the local breweries I go into that I really enjoy going into. It's not just going to have a beer; it's going to go to that place. Like there's a vibe, there's an energy of that place that I enjoy. It's almost like what the bar used to be.
Absolutely.
Nothing against bars too. Just that I'm in my 30s now. I don't go to the bar as much, so I like going to brewery. But so talk to me about like what the scene is like. Let's go more like, you know, macro right now with like the state and the region. What's it like with all the breweries out there? What do you guys? I mean, you guys, we were just talking in the break. You guys collab with my boy Andy over there at New Sarum in Salisbury. That's my hometown brewery, right? Like, what is that like for you guys? How's it going?
It's
okay. This is a safe space.
It's competitive, but it's a friendly competition for the most part. We talked about it earlier. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But we as brewers, we talk to each other all the time. We reach out to each other if we need assistance with something. Hey, I got a question about this, or do you have this product I could borrow until my next shipment comes in?
Oh, that's cool.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, or even collabs like you talked about. We just did 2 with Andy from New Sarum.
So tell me real quick, like, what is a collab? So I've heard this, right? I see this, and sure, some of us do too. Like, we see these collab sessions. What is that like? Like, what's that process like?
So basically, we'll sit down and we will decide, all right, what style of beer we want to do. And then one of us will come up with a recipe or part of a recipe, and we'll just bounce it back from each other back and forth and said, well, oh, I like this, but why don't we change this? And these are the reasons why. Okay, well, now let's go back to that. Oh, I kind of like this, but let's move this. And then we normally brew it at one of our places. And we share the recipe itself. I mean, not the recipe, the beer itself.
That's awesome.
So if we brewed at our place, like we just did our Wardour Cold IPA that we brewed with New Sarum. Andy came and spent the day with us, and he dug right in. He had the mash paddle. He was digging out grain. He was adding hops. He loved
awesome.
it. Which is awesome. We did the same thing. We went to his. So we did that, and since we produced it, it's our product. We did sell him some, so he has it on tap at his at their tap room there. And then 2 weeks ago, we went to his place and brewed a beer.
Oh, so it's like a trade-off like that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's a home and away.
It was a home and away.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, we've done that a couple times. We did one with a Mad Mole in Wilmington where they came. We went to them first. We brewed a batch of beer. Then they came to us a month later. We brewed the same exact batch of beer with the same ingredients, everything, to see the differences and all that kind of stuff and similarities.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's great. So do you guys? So in general, I mean, loaded question, I guess. But how do you guys feel about the continued new breweries opening up? Is it the more the merrier? Is it I don't know, we're getting tight in the market? Like, what are your thoughts about all that?
It's good and it's bad. I think one thing is the market has changed a lot. It used to be you build it and they come. So when you have the older breweries in Charlotte, when they opened up, they were a brewery. They were the only one around, so people came. And I think some of the people who are getting into the industry now have that same perception. That's how it's going to be. It's not that way anymore. I mean, we have 7 breweries and counting in Huntersville and Cornelius alone. And I think that the industry is changing as some of those people love beer and they're very passionate about it. Others just they think of it as a business. They hired a brewer. They've never brewed before. They don't know anything about it. And they can all be successful. They can all create a great product, but you don't have to do the legwork like you used to have to. You take the Porter's 5 Forces. There was a huge barrier to entry in this industry. You had to find someone who was essentially a welder to help you make your tanks. That's gone. You can just spend money and do all those things anymore. So that's the concern I have for the industry is when you get people in this who don't have the passion for great beer and don't have the conversations and the processes and the experimentation like good brewers do, they're putting out a product that's sometimes inferior. And I hate, they're taking shortcuts, Sure. It's like making a cake. Yeah, you can buy that cake off the shelf in the grocery store, but it's better if you make it homemade. And craft brewery has always been about homemade stuff. I think the intent to go to, I'll buy it off the shelf and I'll just get DME and not really even have grain in my brewery, that concerns me. And that's
do you guys use local grain, by the way? Sorry,
On occasion, but not.
Yeah,
It's tough to.
not
Or,
as
I'm sorry,
much.
when I say local, I don't know
from North Carolina.
Yeah, is it from North Carolina? Is it from the southeast?
You don't
Like,
have the diversity where we can use just North Carolina.
that makes sense depending on the kind of beer you want to brew.
And we brew diverse beers.
Exactly.
So we need stuff
Right.
from all
Like this Oktoberfest beer that they brought in to taste. We're gonna do the first. Is this the first, Bill? Yes, you guys are the first. We're making records. Can I open this?
Sure
Hang on,
thing.
I have to make sure to.
Oh, there you go.
Now we got to open the second.
There we go.
Let's do that one. I'll do this one.
There went the first one.
All right.
All right. So
You want to talk about that a little bit, DJ?
Yeah, tell us about this Oktoberfest. Lost Worlds Brewing Oktoberfest Lager.
So most of our beers have a name behind it, like our Euchre Golden Ale or Vista IPA. This one, we decided we just wanted to call Oktoberfest, just to highlight the beer itself. Oktoberfest is a style that originated in Germany. Many years ago, it was brewed in March, or you could call it a Märzen in German, which means March in German, and it was brewed in the springtime, aged in caves where it was cold because it was prior to refrigeration, and then they brought it out for the wedding of Prince Ludwig and
Princess
Therese. Yes,
There you
sorry.
go. So on the back of the
I
can
can
there,
read
my
the back of the
friend.
can. You've got the story on the back of the can. That's
So-
right.
And that's where Oktoberfest came from. It was a party that lasted days and days and days, and now they continue that tradition in Munich. And as American brewers, we wanted to do it too. So there's different types of Oktoberfest. There's the Märzen style, which is more of an amber style, and that's more of this. What this is was a fest beer style, which is a little bit lighter. We decided to go a traditional Märzen style, amberish in color, has a little bit of a hop note to it, and malty. It's a malty.
Yeah, I got
beer.
the malt, yeah.
You get the
But that's-
breadiness of the malt and stuff like that.
And the hop's subtle. It's a very
The
subtle
hops are
hop.
subtle, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
It should be
that's-
smooth. And just
Agree 100%. Yeah, it's very, very smooth. Definitely. When is this one on sale now? Has
It
this been
is.
dropped? This has been dropped.
It is. So Oktoberfest really starts September 16th, and we have
Bill's coming in for some. Bill, get some Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest starts September 16th, and it goes
you
for
go,
about
yeah.
a month. It's not really Oktoberfest per se. The one thing about this beer is, it because the stores want it so early, we put it out much earlier than we anticipated.
It's like Lowe's and Christmas.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
Oktoberfest in May.
You're
boss
right.
is gone.
That's right. That's right. Justin's gone.
So it came out August 1st, but we brewed enough for this year that we'll be able to make it through all of our Oktoberfest events.
And by the way, I'm assuming, well, one, you can of course buy this now at Lost Worlds. You
Yes,
can
you
also purchase it. We said you guys are in Lowe's Foods and you're in Total Wine.
Yes.
Which go to that new Total Wine in Cornelius, the new store, by the way. If you guys are listening and have not been, wow. I mean, huge.
Yes.
Talk about you guys talking about the North Carolina breweries. They have like 2 aisles, I think it is, almost
Absolutely.
dedicated to North Carolina breweries,
Oh,
which
it's
is
huge.
cool to see.
I love what they've done there. Absolutely.
And you guys also, first, just come and buy some. Second, on September 16th, they can come to an Oktoberfest
At the brewery.
like festival
In our beer garden, yes.
at your beer garden there.
Polka band, the whole works.
And if you missed September 16th, you can come back on October 14th.
October 14th, and we'll have cast beer at both those. Mayor Woody's going to kick us off on the 14th with the tapping of a keg.
All right. Are you guys some Oompa bands?
We got it.
Some
both
Oompa
times.
bands? Are we doing Are we doing the
The
competition?
Stein holding. We're doing the whole thing.
I took second place in that last year at a place, not at your place, at a different party I was
Oh,
at.
let's see
So
how you
like,
do it at
I
our
know. I
place
feel like
this
I
year.
need to come to y'all's
Come
place
on.
and like compete, do my 16-ounce curls. But before all that, on September 10th, you could probably get some at your harvest market, right?
Absolutely.
Now, what is that harvest market? Is that just like a fall fest kind of thing, or?
A little bit like that. So what we do is we take our back parking lot. This originated during COVID when all these small artisans didn't have places to sell their stuff. And so we open up our back parking lot, and we'll have about 50 vendors, live music, food trucks, the works. But really to give them a chance to sell whatever they want. So it'll be a well-attended event, but we'll have Oktoberfest there, and I think all of our other beers as well.
That's awesome. All right, well, we're going to have to take another break here. But coming back, we got one more chance to talk to the guys here from Lost Worlds Brewing. We're going to find out what's in the future. A little expansion opportunities, maybe, some other things. Tune back in. Make sure you don't leave us. Know the scene. Coming back.
More Know the Scene with Kane Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Asheville native Kane Cox is performing Friday, August 25th at Kane Center for the Arts. Get your tickets while they last. Show starts at 8 p.m. Visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Want to showcase your music skills? Richard's Coffee Shop and Military Museum in downtown Mooresville has their music jam sessions every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to noon. Richard's Coffee Shop, located in downtown Mooresville. For more info, visit welcomebeds.com. Ever dreamed of seeing Freddie Mercury and Queen live? Absolute Queen, a Queen tribute, will be playing at Boatyard Eats in Cornelius Friday, August 18th. Tickets are $20 online. Enjoy live music and at a fun venue. Absolute Queen, Friday night at Boatyard Eats in Cornelius. To buy tickets, visit boatyardlkn.com. Ever wonder what Mooresville was like in 1873? The historic downtown walking tour is a self-guided tour that will take you on a stroll through Mooresville's past to learn about the history of the town. Featuring 18 stops, the tour begins and ends at the corner of Main Street and Center Avenue. It should take 1 hour to complete. For more info, visit downtownmooresville.com. What would it be like to play glow stick bingo? Come check out the Bingo Glow Party at the Statesville Civic Center. Tuesday, August 22nd, doors open at 6 p.m. All games will be played under blacklight. Glow stick bingo at the Statesville Civic Center. For more info, visit civiccenter.statesvillenc.net. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
I'm Nick Rice with your WSIC forecast. As we head through the rest of the afternoon, it's going to stay mostly sunny, but we do have a 40% chance of a thunderstorm. High of 93. Tonight, chance of thunderstorms still likely. A partly cloudy evening with a low of 75 in the morning. On Tuesday, it's going to be mostly sunny. Showers in the afternoon and a high of 92. Tuesday night, chance of thunderstorms, partly cloudy and a low of 65. I'm Nick Rice from WSIC's Weather Center.
It's Know the Scene with Kane Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Get that out now. Turn into the Barney from Simpsons if we're not careful. Welcome back, everybody. You can tell we've gotten into the beer. I'm just kidding. We've opened one. Gosh. Look out for us here at Know the Scene. We're your renegade hour on a Tuesday afternoon. If you need a little bit of a cut loose, tune in, WSIC. Awesome. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Here with the guys, Dave and DG from Lost Worlds Brewing. Really had a great time chatting with them about, how they got the Lost Worlds, where it got built, where it is. Now I want to talk again a little bit about kind of where you guys are headed. Right. So, and we talked a little bit about the scene here, but I love to branch out. So before we get into literally where Lost Worlds is going, which I do want to talk about. First of all, again, thank you for bringing this beer to taste. We opened the Oktoberfest. We may need to open up the, now this is one of your anchors is the Euchre, right?
Absolutely.
The Euchre. So we might need to try the Euchre too. So we can at least say we tried two beers. I'm going to twist it because, look at that. If you're tuning in online right now, you're getting a great shot of the two beers right there that you can see. Thanks, Bill, for that zoom. That's like extreme close-up from Wayne's World. But yeah, so before we talk about where you guys are going, tell me about just in general, like the Lake Norman scene. How are you guys feeling as, as business owner, as a major operator of the business as well? How are you guys feeling about the Lake Norman scene, right? And the towns beyond, right? So with your business here, like you said, with obviously other competition continuing to come, not bad competition, as you mentioned, just, healthy, I guess. Do you feel good about where the area is going, like the continued kind of, blend and growth as a business here, like with your beer? How do you feel?
Actually, pretty good. I mean, we're lucky with a couple things is we have a very supportive town. Mayor Woody, the commissioner's always been fantastic to us, so that's been very positive. And the partnerships with local businesses is phenomenal. Like Choplin's, they provide the menu for our brewery. You know, because
that's right.
I don't want to get into food. That's not my niche. And Wes has been a great partner for doing that. And then Marcos and the Thai House are also our partners as well. So that partnership's phenomenal. In terms of the area, I think though we just have to keep innovating because it's exploding. And I mean, our competition isn't necessarily always other breweries. It's where people want to go and hang out.
True.
Birkdale Village is exploding with all the things they're doing with the new owner. And then there's always stuff popping up here and there that, you know, we're aware of them and cognizant of what's going on. But it comes back to our team. At the end of the day, we have to continue to innovate. And that comes from internally in our culture and building the idea where we pop out ideas and share them. So we have a lot of new things that we're excited about over the next couple of years. And we're going to try some different things that people wouldn't really associate with breweries normally.
That's cool. I love that. So as you mentioned it, so as you are trying new things, what kind of things are on the horizon for you guys that you're willing and able to share here on the show?
Well, outside of innovation in our product, because we have some new different types of beers we're going to push out that maybe are kind of new, and I can let DG speak to some of those. But we're also looking at evolving from becoming a brewery that has a nice place to hang out to becoming an entertainment company. And that entails what can we do to pull people out and help them find their adventure. So we've kicked off something, and it's in its infancy. We call it Lost Worlds Adventures. And that's really taking our experience outside the tap room. And that can be anything from, we do a beer school in the brewery that DG hosts. It's the only one in the area.
That's cool.
Yep.
First Saturday of every month, we have beer school, and we're going to offer additional courses, but then also take that off-site.
Is that to like learn how to brew beer or learn just about beer or everything?
A little bit of each. It's the brewing process, the ingredients. We call it Beer School 101. It's an elementary class where you learn the brewing process, you learn the ingredients, you taste different beers throughout it, and I go over flavor profiles of each of the beers.
Awesome.
And at the end, we tour the brewery so you can actually see what you just learned over the past couple hours. And like you said, we're gonna advance that to different levels and such.
Oh, so is that like in like a 4-week session or 6-week session or something? Then they sign up at a certain time, or is it just drop in?
It's the first Saturday of every month. You sign up on our website,
Okay.
lostworldsbeer.com.
There you go.
And then it goes right to DG. He has your class, and we have it, complete curated for your day. When
I
you
did
come.
not even. That's awesome. So yeah, guys, you want to learn about beer? LostWorldsBeer.com. Sign up for that first Saturday of every month and take a little beer class.
Yep. Absolutely.
What else? What else you guys got going on? And the adventures thing.
The adventures, we're looking to explore stuff. And I mean, this is still in its infancy, but, can we take you and you want to go on, be in our hiking club? And we will take you somewhere, take you on a bus, have some beers, do a tasting on the way.
That's
before and
cool.
after. And, we have partners in archaeology organizations. So we had, in late July, we really had our first trip that went to Belize.
Wow.
Sold out long before we could even advertise. It just went that quickly. But
that's awesome.
That's the nice thing is we have great relationships with archaeologists and historians around the world, and they buy some of the items that you see in our tap room. So it's great to have those partnerships, and we're going to continue to leverage them. We also have an author series that we kicked off this year.
Oh, cool.
We've hosted 2 authors in the last couple months, and Dave Fleming, Who's Your Founding Father, his book came out this year, and you can get that at Barnes & Noble. But that was about the mech deck, and we did a beer on that.
You did do that. Yeah, that was a cool. I thought that was a really like creative idea.
Yeah,
like the mech deck. That was really creative.
And we want to do bus tours with it, so we're looking at doing a bus tour with that now. That you could come and Dave will actually help walk you through Charlotte, the history of Charlotte and the mech deck, and we'll do our tasting of beers on the bus
awesome.
at the same time. So all those things that we can do that can get people outside and allow them to experience the world. That's what excites us.
Now, did I hear a rumor or read a rumor that there may be new locations coming?
There is a new location coming. I can confirm that.
Oh, all right. You heard it. You heard it here, folks. Breaking news. Breaking news. What are you able to share any of that?
I can. We're actually going to the Metropolitan just south of Charlotte. And the location's appealing to us. They have a new landlord that took over that Northwoods. And they really kind of want to activate that area. So they're really working with us. And they came after us.
Oh, wow.
There's a greenway that runs right down to the Sugar Creek Greenway, and our location is going to back up right to that. So you can literally walk off the trail into the brewery and off the brewery and see the trail. So we love that aspect of it because we look at additional locations. One of the things, we want to be entertainers, and we want to have places where people want to go and have an experience. that's perfect for us. Off the Greenway and being able to go all the way up to Davidson or Mooresville,
Right.
and all the way down to South Carolina and hop on a bike and stop in Midway and get a beer. That's perfect to us.
That's awesome.
So super excited about that opportunity.
So what kind of, I mean, how, are you early in the process? Or do you have a timeline? Do you?
Yeah, construction's underway. So we're looking at
wow.
the end of this year, January of next year. My goal is to have January or February would be the date I would target.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're excited.
Congrats.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
really cool.
We're super excited about it. So.
Wow. And still same, I mean, you know, same culture, same guy. I've got to make sure you keep that same energy that you guys have with this down there.
All Lost Worlds will have the same general look and feel to them, but they'll be specific to the location. So this one up here is just kind of our general, but downtown will be a little bit more about Charlotte history, the history of flight, those types of things.
That's awesome.
From North Carolina. But if you ever built one in, off the Outer Banks, it'd be about, shipwrecks or something like that. So
yeah,
it'll always be
cool.
Lost Worlds, but have a different little take to it.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's really exciting, guys. I love that. What else? So again, just want to make sure I remind everyone of some important dates you guys have. Remember, September 10th is the Harvest Market. September 16th we have Oktoberfest, and then more Oktoberfest again on October 14th. They're in Cornelius at the location there. Make sure you go check them out. Beer classes.
Yep.
First Saturday every month.
Yep. From 1 until about 2:30 or so.
Okay, in the so 1 to 2:30 in the afternoon. LostWorldsBrewing.com.
Yes.
LostWorldsBeer.com. I'm sorry. LostWorldsBeer.com.
I said yes too quick.
Enterprise Blonde Ale.
Yeah.
Real quick, with some of the time we have left, tell me the story behind Enterprise Blonde Ale.
Well, Enterprise came about as I wrote a book a number of years ago and got some media contacts.
Wait, you're an author too?
I'm an author too.
What?
Yeah, we don't have enough time.
See, you're an artist.
But did a book tour, and during the book tour, I met some people in the media and things. And so I always wanted to do something like I thought there could be some partnerships out there we couldn't take advantage of. And Paramount Viacom got in touch with them, and they loved the idea. And so we created the Enterprise Blonde Ale.
So this is officially, because I almost wondered, like, how did you? Because this is
official. We have a deal with Paramount, Viacom, and the Ronberry family actually as well had to sign off on it.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So this is like super exclusive.
It's super. Yes, we're.
I mean, yeah.
If
like
you want
are
the Enterprise, if you want a beer with the Enterprise on it, you have to go to Lost Worlds.
Yeah.
That is awesome, man.
Yeah,
that is so cool. So awesome. Well, thank you guys again. For coming on today. Really excited about where you guys are headed. I think it's awesome. Any final kind of things you'd like to make sure people know about your journey, about your brewery? It's microphone's yours.
I think the only thing I would say is, we are very excited about the future of our company, and we really love to meet the rewarding part to me about this business is the people that come into our tap room.
Exactly.
And we get to meet so many people, and we get to share beer and share stories with them. So we want to be that place you can come and you feel comfortable just hanging out, talking to people, meeting strangers and that, because that's what we do. When we have our free time, we sit in our tap room and just talk to people and get to know people. And I love that about the industry.
I agree. And that's been my experience there too, as I mentioned. Like when I come, I love this. It's interesting. One time I had been working late. And I was just like, it was one of those days I'm working late, and I was like, man, I just want to go to a beer, and I kind of wanted to like run into somebody, like like when it's like
it's fun to talk to people.
I want to run into somebody, and I was like, I'm gonna go to Lost Worlds, because one, I know it's a cool vibe, and two, I'm almost positive there's a good chance I'm gonna run into somebody, like that I know there. Yeah. And I did, and it was great, and there's a food truck that night. That was awesome as well. Another piece that I think, and this is like random and picky, but I want to applaud you guys on with your experience, is the fact that you have your I don't know what, I'm sure you guys have a branded name for it or something, but like your bartenders will
adventure guides.
There you go. Okay, I was like, I know you have something. Your adventure guides literally will walk to the tables, right, and ask you, like, can I grab you another one? And just run your card from there if you need to. Like, you don't have to get up and walk to, which is like, sorry, this is not being lazy, but it's just, it's nice. It's a difference.
Yes.
It is a difference. It is a complete difference to just like have them
services.
walk around and say that, and that they can scan it with the things. It's crazy, but again, well, thank you guys again so much. DG, Dave, Thank y'all for being here. Thanks for being our first brewery. Thanks for being our first tasting.
Thanks for having us.
If you're listening, and you know, go get yourself some Lost Worlds, guys. Support your local businesses. Support your local artists, brewmaster artists, business artists. And we'll catch y'all next week. Kane and Cox coming next week. First live performance is going to be here. Tune in. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for listening to Know the Scene.
The new 105.9